You touch so many different parts of the cycle. If you think about everything from the financial institutions that you work with at Mastercard, all the way through the consumers that have Mastercards in their pocket, how do you think about your role in climate action?
So look, Lauren, our role is really around bringing kind of all the pieces and the partners together. We truly believe on the effort that we need to do together, and that is what will bring us a big impact. We started by kind of in the sustainability side. We actually are doing 4 things. We started with our net zero commitment for 2040. And that is something that it's tracking very well, but actually we do not have a very big footprint. But we realize that we can have a big impact if we really kind of impact this entire ecosystem, if we mobilize all the thousands of financial institutions that are issuing our cards, if we mobilize all the 3 billion people that are behind the cards that we have globally today, the 90 million merchants, retailers that are accepting our cards. So we really feel that this power of the integrated, of the ecosystem is what can bring a positive impact, much beyond the net zero pledge that we have. So we also decided to, for that, bring carbon calculator. We partner with a Swedish company called Economy, and that is where now we have a number of banking customers for us that are providing to their cardholders a way for them to know how much CO2 footprint they have with their transactions, with their purchases. And that has been very telling. So information is something that it's very at the heart of what we do. And this is something that has been very engaging with the consumers and the banks. Second thing, we have done coalition, Priceless Planet Coalition. You just saw the video. And that is also with the focus of bringing all these partners together in a coalition to restore 100 million trees. And there we are focusing not only on the climate, but also how we bring that with the communities and the biodiversity. Fourth, we are also bringing kind of a now sustainable cards. So instead of working with PVC, plastic cards, we are starting to issue, we already issue hundreds of millions cards. Several of our banks adopted that. And we have a pledge that by 2028, all the Mastercard issued cards will be with sustainable materials.
Will those sustainable cards look exactly the same as the current cards, or will they be different?
I would say today you have a symbol you can see, but to be honest, in the future, that will be just the base. That will be mainstream because all the cards will be, sustainable. So today we have kind of a mark, and of course, issuers want to show that this is kind of a different material, that is a recycle, it's a sustainable. But in the future, that will be just the basis. All the cards should be kind of sustainable.
You mentioned the coalition,
yes,
some of your tree restoration efforts there. How did that coalition come into being? And how are you addressing with the coalition and with these efforts a lot of the challenges that you run into when you're planting trees with biodiversity, with the community actually supporting them, keeping those trees in the ground, keeping them alive?
Yeah. So first of all, we decided to partner with 2 important institutions in this space that really have all the knowledge to make sure that we have very high scientific quality levels, and they are Conservation International and the World Resources Institute. So it's a partnership between the 2 of them, and they are great partners, and that is kind of giving us the assurance that we are really doing the very high level quality for the climate. At the same time, we also designed that Priceless Planet Coalition should have a very important social aspect, because Mastercard has a heritage on financial inclusion. We've been doing that for more than a decade. That is so center and core to where we are and what we do. So we are bringing new individuals to the digital economy. For now more than 10 years, we have a goal to achieve 1 billion people by 2025, and we are tracking very well towards that goal. So that is actually working with communities, local small communities, several times, small farm holders, as you saw in the video, working with this type of community, and bringing them to the digital economy. So for us, it was very important to also bring that social aspect to Priceless Planet Coalition alongside to the biodiversity, because again, not only for the communities is it important that to have the tree up and kind of a potentially even bringing more income to them, like fruits or nuts or something that it will actually bring for them kind of a way to have a better, sustainable, prosperous future. But at the same time, the biodiversity, bringing back the natural, kind of species and how we restore and preserve what is there in a way that is positive to, again, the ones that are helping us to restore, to plant the trees.
And how are you communicating these efforts to your consumers? Are they part of the push that's driving you to do this?
Yeah, the consumers actually are really the engine behind this train, because to be honest, we feel that most of our partners, they are doing that because consumers care. We've been seeing the research, we've been tracking that for many years. And nowadays, and this number is always bringing up globally, 85% of consumers really want to partner with brands that are not only saying, but are concretely engaging them in something around sustainability. So consumers now, they know that they can vote with their wallets, right? And they can decide about the brands that they're partnering that really are engaging them. So we see that consumers are very engaged. They are kind of really willing to have this type of now the sustainable choices. And that is why we have the coalition working well, because the consumers are really kind of engaged. We are seeing the numbers, but also because all our partners also seeing their own research that this is what their clients want.
It's a good reminder that companies are listening when we vote with our wallets.
Exactly.
Chris, thank you so much for joining me.
No, thank you so much, Lori.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks.